Hello ladies, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about insomnia. This is one of the requests from a viewer, and this is going to take a couple of videos just like the belly fat series. So insomnia is a very common problem and it affects people of all ages. Now of course menopause just makes it that much worse. So today we're going to talk about the two primary factors that lead to insomnia for all ages. And as we go through the video series, I'll be narrowing it down to women going through the transition into menopause. So as I was saying, there are two main culprits in terms of sleep deprivation. The first one is light. So when I was growing up, electricity was a lot more expensive. In fact, if I left my bedroom with the light on and my father saw that, he would go in and unscrew my light bulb and make me pay him 25 cents to get my light bulb back. So it was much more expensive in those days, and it was all incandescent light. Now that electricity is cheaper, we can basically have daylight 24/7 in our homes. And, we have gone from, lamps here and there on tables, with very little overhead light. Maybe there was a chandelier. Nowadays you see recessed lighting in a lot of environments that are also LED lights, which emit a lot of blue light. So if you compound that with the blue light that we get more intensely from our electronic products, we're basically totally confusing our circadian rhythm, or our day and night rhythm. So our circadian rhythm, our biological rhythm center, is right by our optic nerve, which is at the back of our brain. So it is very sensitive to light. And you can basically fool your brain into thinking that it's the middle of the day when it's really 10 o'clock at night. So our brains get confused. And so our exposure to light these days is about 10 times as much as it was 50 years ago. And not only 10 times more, but also the amount of blue light that we're exposed to really gets our whole day and night rhythm out of balance, gets it out of sync. So that cycle, the light and dark cycle, is the most important synchronizers of our internal biological clock. So that's the first thing we need to pay attention to, and that is allowing our bodies to experience the differences between daytime and nighttime. Now, the second thing that plays a major role in insomnia is nutrition. So it plays an essential role in stabilizing that circadian rhythm, in that sleep-wake rhythm. And it has to do with our blood sugar. So when we're constantly eating all day long and up until the time we go to bed, we have so much blood glucose coursing through our veins. And when you consider that our brain is the largest consumer of blood sugar, of carbohydrates, when we go to sleep, our brain slows down. So it's not using the same amount of blood sugar that it does during the day. So you have this excess of blood sugar going into your brain which basically doesn't allow your brain to slow down and get into that sleep cycle. So there's an endocrinologist, her name is Dr. Crowder, and she's been studying the link between obesity and sleep disturbances. And what she has found from analyzing the data, especially the hormonal data, it showed that the biggest impact on our hormones was sleep. So our hormones are fluctuating throughout the day, and different events will affect those hormone levels. The event that has the most impact on our hormones is a lack of sleep. So as we've talked about before, leptin is our satiety hormone. Ghrelin is our hunger hormone. So those two things get way out of whack when we aren't getting enough sleep. And a ton of studies have shown that when people don't get adequate sleep, they tend to really crave high carbohydrate foods. So when there isn't enough sleep, pretty much everything in our body goes wrong. Our performance starts to suffer, and that can come in the form of poor driving, which results in accidents. It increases accidents in the home. So you would think that, sleep, the lack of sleep is only affecting you when you first wake up in the morning and it's hard to get out of bed, but it actually lingers throughout the whole day, and it affects every system in our body. So the other system that gets really affected is our endocannabinoid system. So our endocannabinoid system is the system in our body whose job it is to maintain homeostasis. And it also kind of drives our hunger and our satiety. Now it's interesting because cannabis is when we supplement our body with phytocannabinoids, or cannabinoids from the plant, such as CBD, THC, and all the other compounds in cannabis, we're actually feeding our endocannabinoid system so that it can maintain homeostasis. Now, depending on which compound in the plant that you're using more of, for example, if you're using THC, it increases your appetite. It gives you the munchies. If you use more CBD and THCV, which are two other cannabinoids, that actually decreases your appetite. So your hormones and your endocannabinoid system have a huge effect on your appetite, on your sleep, and all of those other survival mechanisms in our body. So when we don't get enough sleep, all of those systems get dysregulated. They get out of balance. Your ghrelin will go up, which makes you hungry and want to eat all the time, and it's usually the high carbohydrate foods that we're craving. And our leptin goes down, which, basically we can't put the brakes on when it comes to eating. We just want to keep eating and eating because we can't get satisfied. So these are just a few of the systems that get disrupted by a lack of sleep. I'm sure you've all heard that lack of sleep causes obesity, it causes heart disease, diabetes, all of these major chronic illnesses in our society these days. And considering that we get way less sleep than we did 50 years ago, and we're exposed to 10 times as much light, especially blue light, as we were 50 years ago, it's no wonder that this is a chronic problem. It's a huge problem. There are so many people with this issue who, aren't even in menopause. Menopause, when you put that on top of all of this, it can be a nightmare, no pun intended. But so anyway, so that's the first thing I wanted to cover with insomnia. And I'm going to continue doing a couple of more videos on insomnia. If there's anything in particular you want me to cover, please feel free to put it in the comments or send me an email. And if you like this content, if you could please hit the like button and the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you will know, whenever I post a video. That would be really great. I would appreciate that very much. Okay, well, thank you, ladies, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, take care.